We want to get your NFL top 5 opening day memories. Let's start at number 5 for Lombardi's list.
Well, you know, first of all, I think when you go, these opening day games are so hard, right? Because there's so much, even when you're in the league, there's so much unpredictability in the game. Even if you think you're the better team and you've got it all figured out, it really never works out that way. And they're always harder than you think. But when you have to play on the road, it's really hard. And there's nothing like winning in Kansas City. In 2001, before 9/11, we played back there, and on the last second field goal, we won. And Janikowski nailed it. We won 27-24, and it was unbelievable. I got to the airport as we waited for the plane and to go back, and my wife called me and said, I think we should adopt this dog. I was so happy we did. I was so happy we won. Whatever she was going to say, we were going to do. So, you know, we got a dog after that win, so that was one of my favorite ones. When Bud Carson came to Cleveland in '89, we were horrible all preseason, just horrible. It didn't look good. He was replacing Marty Schottenheimer. The defense looked old. We weren't very good. We go into Pittsburgh and we win 51-0, Stormy.
Yeah, I like that, Michael.
I don't even,
you go from a nail biter and walk-off field goal to never in doubt. It's nice to have some of those every now and then.
I never saw that one coming. Trust me. Now, just for the record, Steeler fans will remember, 6 weeks later they beat us in Cleveland. Okay, just remember this now. Like it was, for all those that assume that you're going to win, like 6 weeks later they beat us. And so it really doesn't matter. 94, we had a great year in 94, and it started with the win in Cincinnati. Always a hard place to win. I can remember getting on the team bus with Nick Saban after we lost down there, and he says to me, Dog, what's your problem? And I'm like, well, I hate losing to these guys. I just hate it. And he said, you know, until we realize they're better than we are, we're going to keep losing. And he was right. And in 94, we finally won down there. We dominated the game. Antonio Langham had an interception in the end zone. He was our first-round pick in 94. And that was a great win. And then I've got to experience the banner, right? Because back in the first Super Bowl, we never hung a banner in Candlestick. So this one, we opened up with Pittsburgh on a Thursday night. We hung the Super Bowl 49 banner, which was an incredible experience. One you'll never forget, knowing that you'll always have that a part of your life. And then to me, there's really only one. The first, as a kid growing up in this little beach town, wanting to work in the NFL, dreaming of working in the NFL, to be able to be in the NFL in 1984, go back and play a good Lions team, a team that the 49ers beat the year before in a playoff game. And Ray Wersching makes a field goal at the end of the game to win. And that was my first experience in the NFL, and I started my career 1-0, and we actually won a Super Bowl in '84. So that will always be my finest opening day memory. The other one, Stormy, part of that one, I was standing in the press box of this game, and Mr. DeBartolo's bodyguard was in there, and they watched the game from the press box. This was in the old Pontiac Superdome. And the guy comes up to me, his bodyguard, and says, hey, Mr. D needs cigarettes. Can you go buy him some cigarettes? He hands me a $100 bill, and I go run out to the concessions, and they were selling cigarettes then at the stadium.
At the concessions at the stadium. That's awesome.
This is how old I am,
right? Oh, my
right?
goodness.
So they're selling cigarettes at the stadium, and so I run out there, give the guy, I come back with 2 packs of cigarettes and probably $98 of change, and he said, no, keep it. And I was like, oh, my God. I mean, I wasn't making any money. So that was like an experience unlike any other.
Get a hot dog, get a dart, and a pretty nice tip. Not too shabby, Michael Lombardi.
Yeah, so those are my 5, and they'll always be my 5.
Can you reflect a little bit more, though, on what that was like for you as a kid, to your point, always wanting to be around football and wanting to work in the NFL, and what that moment was like for you just as a person, knowing that your dream became reality, and now even too, reflecting on all of the different opportunities that you've had?
It was funny because, as a kid, my father didn't take me to football games. Going to a pro football game wasn't, so we went to baseball games, but not football games. So, really, this might have been, I went to a Washington Redskin game when I was a junior in college. But other than that, that was the only pro football game I'd ever seen live until '84. Now, we had the preseason, but they didn't count, right? Mm-hmm. It really was. Preseason's preseason. So it's the second pro football game I've ever seen in my life. I was working for the team. And that was really surreal. And to see all these people and to be in the stadium and how people reacted. You know, you come from high school where a loss is devastating, or, you know, and how professional the trip was. We stayed out in some hotel out in by the Silverdome, and Ray Rhodes and I, on Saturday morning, we drove up to Michigan State to scout that game, and then we drove back. It kind of will never leave my memory. And Wersching's kick, it was a hard game, and Joe was great in the game. But that kick set off a great season.
No, it's awesome. And it also makes you think about this year, the players who are going to be getting their first opportunities to make a dream come true and hit the field in an NFL game. The first time GM or head coach on there in a regular season game, making things happen for themselves. It's a really, really special time. And I think this was a great reminder of, again, not only the betting perspective that we come to and the way that we're sweating out these games, but the different emotional connection that there is to the game across this entire country.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.